Do you want to do all that you can to avoid a scam in the UAE? 2 seconds and we jump into the information. Hello everyone, my name is Maria Rubert, lawyer and arbitrator with a base in the UAE for the past almost 15 years. I'm very happy to be sharing information that I think it will be relevant to you if you have a base somehow in the UAE. By having a base, it means you may be working here, you may have a bank account here, you may be transacting with UAE parties. This is very important as well because maybe you don't have the base, but you are transacting with UAE parties, as we will see. Before we jump into examples that we are actually seeing, this video is motivated today. We made a publication a few months back. It's on our company's website, but we don't stop seeing more and more cases of scams. Yeah, scams, legally speaking, are frauds. What is a fraud? A fraud, it involves two things. It involves an appropriation. Someone takes over money or property or makes you sign something, obtains a benefit. Yeah, so obtains a movable property, movable thing, money usually, or obtains a benefit through what? Through deceit. Yeah, there must be deceit. What do they deceive you about? The method. They deceive about the identity of who they are, or even about the capacity that they hold to do whatever they are asking you to do. Yes. So what examples are we seeing? Are we seeing nowadays in the UAE? We are seeing mainly two fraudulent methods. Yes. I'm gonna get into it. In which fields do we see that? We see them in every field really, because you will see that persons are affected and companies are affected. Mostly we are seeing, for example, I said transactions. You are a party to a commercial transaction. Someone needs to pay someone. Yeah, you are selling fruits to the UAE. You are selling vegetables to the UAE. Yes. Also different types of contracts. For example, rent contracts. Yes. When you're purchasing a property in the UAE. This is a bit more tricky because usually you do it in front of the notary, and if you are well advised, it's more difficult. But tenancy we see a lot, yes? And also we see settlement agreements. A settlement agreement is, for example, you and I, we have a conflict, a dispute, and we sign a document that is called settlement agreement saying, hey, this happened between us, but we have decided this, and we put our conflict behind us. Yes, most of these settlement agreements involve a payment. Yeah, imagine someone owes you money and you sign you owe me 100, but listen, I'm tired to go after you. Pay me today, pay me 75, and we close it. So in those cases, when you are deviating from the actual debt, it's good that you sign a settlement agreement. Good for both sides. More examples. Yes. You are a party to a tenancy agreement, yes, and you want to renew, and you've been renewing for a number of years, and then the landlord contacts you and tells you, I changed my banking details, please transfer to this account, and you do the transfer, yeah, and then the landlord follows up for payment. He didn't receive the payment, and apparently someone has been hacked, yes. Other cases, for example, as we were mentioning, the settlement agreement. Usually in settlement agreements, sometimes you have delayed payments. So one payment on the 1st of June, another 1st of July, 1st of August. So let's say that before the 1st of August, I text you and I say, hey, we changed the banking details, please transfer to this account. Yes, and then someone follows up with you and says, what is my money? I didn't receive. No, I made the payment. Well, I didn't send you any change of banking details. That's another example. Yes, and the same with transactions for the sale of items, of goods in the region. Yes, someone needs to pay you, and then they tell you, no, I did pay you. This is the transfer. Well, I didn't send you that email asking for a change of banking details. Similar, yes. So in these cases, there are two issues. One thing, will you have to pay again? let's consider the case of the tenancy or the case of the settlement agreement. You have paid. Will you have to pay again? Or the case of the fruits and vegetables or whatever goods. Will you have to pay again? Well, depends. When this goes to court, usually what happens is that you may have a couple of experts at different stages. Maybe you have an IT expert at the beginning, you have an accounting expert at the beginning, depends. On what depends? Depends on what the parties are asking and the judge is allowing. Yes, so the cases may be very difficult, but usually it's very important to take a look at the messages that have been exchanged. Not only to the content, of course, it's very important, the content, yeah? At the end of the day, what the judges look is it reasonable to believe that they ask for a change of banking details? You know, sometimes parties receive very funny emails with logos copy-pasted, different fonts in letters and text. Yes, these are usually red flags. So the judges will be looking at this. They also, when an expert, IT expert is appointed, they will be looking at the properties of the emails. They are able to extract a number of details from the properties of the emails. You and I, we may not be able, I may be able to extract by now, as I've been part to a significant number of cases. But incredible the amount of information. So at the end of the day, there is a big depends on the facts and whether or not it's reasonable to believe that case, or whether it could be expected that a reasonable person should have detected something was wrong and should have asked for more information, at least pick up the phone and say, hey, did you send me a change of details? Yes. Another case of frauds, scams that we are seeing comes through SMS and WhatsApps. Police send you a message, or banks, they look very real. Or central bank, this we also got. We are texting you from the central bank, we need an update on your banking details. Immediately, yes? Usually they put a lot of pressure. The central bank usually is not gonna ask you through an SMS or WhatsApp. Yeah, and police, the same, usually police will call you. Yes, and ask you to come there. Yes, so stay aware that this exists. I will put a word for you to take a look to your security system in your emails, for example. Ensure that you have double verifications to access. One of them also, when someone asks you for a change of banking details, verify the domain, and even if the domain is the same, sometimes it's the entire domain that is being hacked. Yes, so call and double check. Yes, and if the bank you think is asking you via SMS, call your relationship manager or go to the bank and verify before you share any details that could put you into significant trouble. I hope that this has been of assistance. Scams are in our lives, for good or bad. Technology is great, but also we are slaves of it, and sometimes we are victims of it. So stay aware. If you believe you are a victim, or you could be a victim of a scam, please do reach out. I'll be very happy to take a look at the documents and give you an initial assessment. If you have learned a little bit from this video, please do like the video, please do subscribe, please do follow me on social media to get to new information as soon as it is out. And if you have general questions, I'll be very happy to receive them in order to prepare videos that can be of help to even more people. Thank you so much for your help.